Welcome party peoples, it's Strobe Quintarian, and I'm here bringing you my first video, the breakdown of the announcement trailer for Street Fighter 6. So, Street Fighter fans have been waiting for a long time for some news, and we finally got it, and a bunch of news it was. So, I'm going to break down not everything, but some of the information that we got from two videos and the StreetFighter.com website. I will link the website in the description below. In this video, what are we going to cover? We're going to talk about the confirmed characters. We'll talk about the potential characters I think will come based off of what we've seen in the video. Talk about the new control types that they'll be implementing in Street Fighter 6. And finally, we'll get into the drive combat system, which seems to be the new life in Street Fighter 6. So, who do we have? Jamie, a drunken boxer. Returning, Luke, Chun-Li, and Ryu. So, potential fighters based off of the trailer are Lin Fei, Li Fin, Chun-Li's protege, and Damned, or Damadu, the Mad Gear Gang first boss in the first game final fight. We see him in the background, on the right, cheering on the fight, as well as Poison and Hugo in the background, watching this fight. Now, in past Street Fighters, characters who have been in the background sometimes have made their way into Street Fighter 5, or into Street Fighter games. And with as much as they've showed Damud in this game, I have a high suspicion that he'll actually make it as a character roster in Street Fighter 6. No confirmation, just a guess. Now, let's talk about the control types and what they'll be implementing in Street Fighter 6 going forward. They're going to move to a new modern and classic control types, meaning that they're going to simplify the control scheme for beginners. In the modern control type, they're going to have light, medium, and heavy attack as buttons, and special attacks are going to be relegated to one button. Throw, drive impact, and drive parry are also going to be one button presses as opposed to two button presses. What this means is that for beginners that want to use this modern type, they'll be able to do Hadouken by just simply hitting one button, the triangle button or the Y button. Also, if they use a direction plus the special button, they'll be able to do other special moves, with Ryu being his Tatsu, his Donkey Kick, and his DP. Heavy special super attacks will also be relegated to a simpler input. And finally, combos will be auto-assisted by holding the assist button and mashing light, medium, heavy to get a corresponding combination attack. Now, if that doesn't suit you, there's still the classic mode for legacy players. What that would mean is that Street Fighter will be played in the same way that it's been played in the past. Directional motions plus input will give you a special move depending on what input that you do. Now that we covered that, we'll start to go into the heads-up display, or the HUD, and kind of look at some of the new features. Pay attention specifically to number 2, which is the drive gauge. So the drive gauge is going to be the new mechanic that is going to be driving Street Fighter 6 to be different than its predecessors. If we look at 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, those are pretty self-explanatory. Life bar, timer, round count, icon, and everything else. The drive gauge is what's going to be new, that's going to power offensive and defensive abilities. Also, you will start the match with some drive gauge, how much is unknown, and if you run out, you'll go into an exhausted mode that will be a big disadvantage. So meter management will be key in Street Fighter 6. So what are some of the new mechanics that you will be able to do? The first one, drive impact. This is similar to Ultra Street Fighter 4's focus attack. By doing this attack at the cost of 1 DG or drive gauge, you'll be able to wall splat or even knock back the opponent if they block. In this first example, we have Chun-Li doing her drive impact into Ryu's block, and then we see Ryu getting knocked back out of his block. Next, we have Luke battling Jamie, and in the fight, Luke interrupts Jamie's attack and then follows up with a devastating combination utilizing his EX move, which they call the Overdrive in this mode. We'll cover more about Overdrive in a little bit. But also notice that if you get a clean hit, you can also get a crumple state, which will allow you as the attacker to get massive damage. Next, we have Dry Parry. This is indicated by this blue aura that comes around the character while they're initiating it. This is a parry that is more similar to Street Fighter V's Ryu and Alex than it is Street Fighter 3. This is performed by hitting both medium attacks. In this version of Street Fighter 6, all characters seem to have access to this parry system. Also, parrying attacks will give your character gauge or DG. So in this example, we see Luke attack trying to perform meaty, gets parried by Jamie, and then he does his drive reversal, which we'll cover a little bit later. In this final example, we have Luke parrying Jamie's little dance move, Overdrive. Overdrive is basically EX moves from previous Street Fighter games. So you do a special move using more than one button of a corresponding punch or kick, and you'll turn into a yellow or orangish color, and it will enhance your special move. So here we have two examples. Luke doing his EX rising upper, where he does his uppercut, DP, and then punches his opponent down to the ground, followed by Chun-Li doing her EX lightning legs, with a new follow-up that she hasn't had in previous games. Now quickly, Drive Rush. This is similar to Street Fighter 4's Focus Attack Dash Canceling, or FADC. There's two ways you can do it, by doing it off a parry at the cost of 1 DG, or off of a regular move at the cost of 3 DG. Here we have Ryu doing it off of a parry, and then dashing forward, and then continuing his attack. And finally, we have our drive reversal. This is very similar to the V reversal in Street Fighter V, or the Alpha counter from the Street Fighter Alpha series. While in block, you hit forward and the command, and your opponent will knock the attacker away, providing some much needed relief. This is also at the cost of 2 DG, or 2 drive gauges. Well, that pretty much covers all that I'm going to talk about in this video. Hopefully that you found it entertaining and to your liking. If so, please drop a like, share, or a comment on the video. With this, I will leave you with some super moves that they displayed in the commentator video, which I feel are exceptionally hype. So, until next time, I will say peace out, donkeys, and I will catch y'all later.